Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where this is tough. That migration attraction hit us at exactly the wrong time, the mass migration, just as we were getting our radicals turned around, and now things are going to be really desperate for a little bit here. We're going to have to do some major work here. We need to get a bunch of bureaucracy, so we need to start turning around a bunch of our institutions, and going the wrong way here is desperate measures, absolutely. Other things that we need to do. We have to pause our construction, and on top of it, we need to cut our subsidies to our railway. This is going to hurt our market access tremendously, but our market access is going to be hurt anyway because we're not going to have people to work in our railways. We need to enact regulatory bodies, and we need to cancel our current trade routes. There's no way around it. I've run tests, and all of these actions are entirely necessary. They are very, very detrimental to us in the long term, but they're all extraordinarily necessary here. We are in a desperate state. We need to get our population back, and the best way that I can think of to do that is to try to run some greener grass campaigns in, like, these states here. But it's going to be grim, any way we slice it. It's going to be really, really grim. We're trying to keep ourselves from going into deficit at this point, because we could very easily hit a spiral where our credit cap is dropping faster than our credit is, even though we're paying down our debt. That is the danger here. And our GDP is going to plummet here as our market access does. Guaranteed. That is 100% going to happen. But we need to try to pay down this debt as quickly as we can right now. The migration appears to have leveled off here. That's actually really, really good. So we lost like 750,000 population, right? That hurts. There's no doubt about that. But this feels recoverable. Is the migration target still there? It is. Okay. In my testing, this was kind of variable on where it leveled off. This is kind of the best case scenario. I had it go all the way down to 4 million populace before, and that just felt unrecoverable. But this one, this seems okay. But yeah, it seems to be very variable how far it goes, and I'm not sure what drives that exactly. We got kind of lucky that the one that I'm recording is ending basically immediately. But sure. I was able to turn around the economy going down to about 4.16 million. Anything lower than that was tough. Really, really tough. Now, our market access is not pretty. There's no doubt about that. Netherlands was a defensive pact. Right now, we need all the help we can get. So we accept that. Oil has been discovered in Corrientes. Sure, we can't really do too much with that, but that will give migration attraction there for 2 years. So hopefully, actually, let's take a look at our migration attraction in Corrientes, which is, where is that? I've completely forgotten where Corrientes is. Here. Okay, so currently 32.4 migration attraction, but there's no migration actually coming in. Interesting. Okay, there we go. 19.3K. I like it. From all internal, but that's still good. Now the question is, as we start to pay down this debt, can we get away with turning our subsidies back on? The primary reason why I turned off the subsidies of our railways is I was expecting this to drop further. And it was absolutely necessary with this down at like 4.15. But at 4.27, I don't think it is necessary. We can try turning our subsidies back on for our railways here, which will help our market access tremendously. Corrientes pipeline, huh? 10 infrastructure over there. 100 government expenses permanently, but 100 is kind of irrelevant, actually. Do it. I'm okay with that. So yeah, we seem to be... I think we're beneficial to do this. We have an input goods shortage of paper, which is hurting our bureaucracy, and we should actually import this, even though it will cost bureaucracy to import paper. I think that will ultimately be beneficial for us to get that paper in. So we appear to be recovering now. That's good. That's really, really good. We got pretty lucky here that it ended when it did. I only saw it end at about this point one other time, and I tried like 5 different runs to see how this would end up playing out. So this is like a 20% chance from my testing. So that's great. Now, our radicalism is raising up. That's no surprise, considering what we're running for taxes right now. Can we get away with dropping our taxes? It may end up being a good thing here to do. So we drop it down to here, losing a good amount of our income, yes. But it also boosts up our legitimacy to 71. I'd like to go further. I'd like to go a lot further. So yeah, we don't have people working in this railway. That's the primary issue there. Okay, so we need people, we need to pay down our debt here, and we need to build up our investment pool. So it was like 50K that we were pulling out of there per week that we were spending on our construction. So we should probably let this build up for a while. Strike breakers, huh? Industrialists are upset at the trade unions. Plus 20% enactment time. We'll arrest them for assault. That's okay. We're not in a huge rush here, necessarily. We see an opportunity to call in the obligation that the Netherlands owes us by requesting a commander. No, we're not going to do that. We would much rather that they pay off our debt, to be honest. I don't know if they can, but that would be much better. Now, institutionally, I'm okay with dropping our social security. I'm going to keep our level of education. I'm going to keep our health system level as well. Okay. There we go. Beautiful. So our GDP is kind of leveling out. Our population is starting to recover. That's very good. Inefficient agriculture, migration attraction, yes please. We would love some migration attraction. We're spending down our credit here a little bit, which is reducing our interest. That's good. Our subsidies are what they are for the moment, and we may have to raise our taxes back up. Realistically, since this isn't enough to get us... Oh, we drop down to right here? Yikes. Is that because the industrialists are unhappy? Potentially. That means that we can't raise taxes further without getting a bunch more radicals. So that's noted. Census suffrage, huh? That's not necessarily terrible. Right now we're working on the regulatory bodies and they won't actually start a rebellion. So that seems okay. And we're barely afloat right now. And I think that's going to get worse, not better. Okay. Can we import additional paper? Well, we've got a lot of input goods shortages, right? And that's expected. Our economy was a delicate balance before the mass migration. It is creeping back up. And yeah, we're dipping negative in our finances at this point. That is very bad. And we definitely don't want that to happen. So, there's a lot of turmoil. This is just a really rough situation. There's no doubt about it. This was always going to be a really rough situation too. We're back positive in our finances. That's good. Goods for government buildings, primarily paper. So I think another import route of paper would make sense here. Okay, we're barely afloat. We can't raise taxes without dipping out of contested government. When is our next election? April of next year. Okay. That's kind of good, actually. So the regulatory bodies is a ways away. Okay, we came back up here. That's excellent that we're recovering back up and working on paying down our credit a little bit. Okay, we're back down negative. Steamers are currently expensive, as is coal. Importing coal might not be a bad idea either. We'll import some coal from the British and Russian markets. Okay. For the time being, we appear to have stabilized. We're just holding this position right now, and that's okay. We're going to start recovery fairly soon here, in theory, and this election is going to be in 170 days, so that's a good sign as well. That will help our legitimacy and hopefully allow us to work a bit on our taxation. But 4.31 million, our populace is recovering. That's good. I want to check up over this direction. Do we still have the migration target over here? No, it's gone. Okay. And this populace has actually dropped somewhat here. Cool. So I think that they're starting to trickle back home. Oil Russian subsidies, no frontier lasts forever, indeed. Okay, so our GDP is holding. Our literacy is doing okay. Our standard of living is holding. Our population is holding. Our radicals are going up a little bit. That's to be expected. Our loyalists are going down a little bit. I'm hoping that the election will change that around. I wouldn't mind enacting census suffrage, but regulatory bodies is very important. I really want to get that done. We're paying down our credit at a very slow rate. Imagine how fast this would be if that migration hadn't have hit. That was definitely rough, but we're still growing at a reasonable pace here. 4.32 million now. So we've recovered a decent chunk. Nowhere near all of them, but some. We've recovered some of them. And that means that our gainfully employed numbers are creeping back up towards that 1 million mark. We do have some unemployment and some peasants, but I'm expecting that they're able to be shuffled around. I don't think that's that big of a deal. So regulatory bodies, we're going to get a roll here, 24.8%. Hopefully that passes, and that will reduce our mortality, which will increase our projected pop growth even further. That would be great. As far as our institutions go, I'm okay with chilling here. I do want to start working back up on our education now. Cool. Hey, regulatory bodies passed. That's really good. Now we can enact census suffrage and placate these guys. What's the election looking like? The National Autonomous Party with 75.8%. That's looking good. That's looking real good. Okay, so now we want to go into our institutions here, and the Workplace Safety Office, this is just dangerous working conditions. So we're going to immediately start working that up. That's huge. Also huge, the amount of money we're now making. That's great. That's really, really, really good. I love to see that. So this election will be in about 50 days. I don't think we're going to pass census suffrage before then. No, that's not going to happen. The election will happen first. I want to take a look at our legitimacy quick. 59. At this point, we actually can bump up to the highest level of taxes and start really working on paying down this debt, which is our current goal. We want to pay down this debt as quickly as we can. Cool. And then we'll drop our taxes a little later on. We'll see what our legitimacy ends up looking like here after this election. Two Sicilies is now damaging relations with us. That's very rude. There we go. Get out of here, Two Sicilies. No one cares about you. Identification documents have been unlocked. Cool. So we got a Home Affairs Institution investment. We actually aren't using any home affairs right now. That's fine for now. Cool. So this election will be in 15 days. Political agitation is spreading to us. Okay. Sounds good. 10 days to the election. We have dropped our number of radicals somewhat and increased our number of loyalists somewhat, but I'm really hoping that this election gets us some good legitimacy. 76.1%? Oh yeah. I like it. So we shouldn't need a government reform. I was hoping for a little bit more legitimacy than this, but it'll do. Census suffrage will be enacted eventually. And how's that GDP looking? Holding firm. Population growing. I love it. I absolutely love it. So our balance is creeping up here, and we're paying down a good chunk of our debt at this point. The question is, when do we start our construction back up again? That's a big part of our missing GDP here. I think we give it 10 more weeks. We wait until the investment pool's at 500k. So that should be reasonably fine. I'm expecting that the census suffrage goes through. Now that's going to unlock the women's suffrage law. And we'll see what happens with this in terms of our legitimacy. Hopefully that'll be good. But we're definitely pulling population back now. I want to check over here. That's all internal. That's all internal as well. Okay. So we don't seem to be receiving back our populace up here. Although their numbers are definitely dwindling here. I think some of them are coming back. That's good. That's very, very good. So things seem to be ticking along okay at this point. We're now at 511k, and I want to resume our construction. So, 75k being pulled out there. Noted. We now have census suffrage. It's not shocker that that was passed, so that's all good. And we will continue our construction here for a bit. Oil rigs are underway, and I believe there was oil discovered somewhere else as well. No? Okay. Maybe I'm misremembering. We're negative on our authority right now. I don't think that's too big of a deal. So that looks good. Our GDP is, of course, recovering, as we would expect, but we are going to run out of our investment pool pretty quickly here. No doubt about that. But getting a few extra jobs built up will be good for helping with our unemployment, although it's not a huge problem at this moment. Getting this railway done is fine. Yeah, market access there is at 9% right now. That's going to remain low because there's 58 employees here. 58 people. Yikes. So we're going to run out of our investment pool in 2 months, or rather 2 weeks here. Expanding these paper mills would be awfully nice. Oil discovered in Rio Grande do Sul. Okay. And yeah, we dip negative here. This is fully expected because we need to pause our construction. There we go. We'll let our investment pool build back up, but that got us a few additional jobs. I don't expect that that will actually do too much. Well, getting more jobs does increase migration attraction, so that would be good, for sure. Unfortunately, at this exact moment, we just can't afford it. I don't suppose... Oh, we're up into a legitimate government now. That's solid. That's really solid. 77. In theory, we could drop down to here and be at 87 and still be paying off our debt at a reasonable rate, giving us a bunch more loyalists. 0.0 per month? Really? That doesn't feel right. Okay. That doesn't feel right at all. But yeah, we're at 87 here, which is solid. 86, 87. And we are definitely seeing the number of radicals dropping. That's exactly what we want. We want to see our turmoil drop off. That would be a big deal. And then we can pull back additional people via migration, ideally. So that looks great. We could abolish serfdom. That would disable the Workplace Safety Office. Hard pass on that. Right of assembly? In theory, we could do right of assembly if we wanted to. It would give us more authority, actually. That would deal with this authority deficit. Maybe we should. We're on censorship right now. Wait, no, this is going to give us negative authority. That's a problem. And now we're at minus 162. So we should definitely look into removing our resource industry. I think that's no longer necessary. And I'm going to remove this greener grass campaign. There we go. Cool. This trade route is unproductive. We'll get rid of it. Market access here is 10%. Yeah, I mean, what are we going to do when there's nobody to work the railroad? I mean, you know, nothing to be done there. Education investment has gone up. That is good. And we're continuing to pay down our credit here. We could probably think about continuing our construction, but realistically, if we're not actually getting loyalists from, like, this passive gain, we may not want to be in legitimate government, and we may be fine being in contested. But even that puts us just into legitimate. I don't think there's an extra benefit to it, so that'll be fine. Workplace Safety Office has now gone to level 2, which is good. Very, very good. 1.7 approximately. Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. I definitely want to see our construction resume soon. 58.5k. That price is going to go up. 57.4. Yep. That price is definitely going to go up. So we're going to get this coal mine expanded and work on these tooling workshops, paper mills. We'll get that worked on for a little bit. We have recovered a good amount of our population. Almost 250,000. That's big. That's really, really big. We did just dip negative because we ran out of investment pool. That's to be expected. And we want to continue to build up our investment pool and spend down our credit. That is our biggest goal right now. If we can get this interest gone, that is going to be pretty much like the end of this crisis, right? Pretty much in its entirety. And as we continue to build up our population, that's looking good. So if we look like over here in the population, we can see that the pop growth here, the mortality is 2.5%, birth rate is 4.2. That's really good. Very happy about that. The turmoil is a bit up there. No doubt about that. And the number of radicals basically are what they are. Unfortunately, we're just not getting additional loyalists per month. But it's fine. It's fine. So we are working our way down some of these institutions. Realistically, we probably could bump up our welfare payments again at this point. That's probably broadly acceptable. Yeah, we're not paying that much in welfare right now. I think that's okay. I think that's fine. Just looking at that, it seems to be reasonably okay. 4.43 million now. 1.66% growth. Okay. Support for preserving censorship is actually higher than enacting right of assembly. So we're going to cancel that. That may build up a few extra radicals, but we'll see. We're preparing for a bureaucratic shortfall. I'm not sure how real that shortfall will be. Sometimes it's real, sometimes it isn't. Okay, just looking through these numbers here, we can definitely resume our construction for a little while. And there's pneumatic tools unlocked. That's nice. Oil's been discovered in Amazonas, and from here, plastics would be pretty good, actually. That would give us a way to use some of this oil that we're making and lower our reliance on glass, which would be huge. Okay. And with that, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue our recovery, which is actually going quite well. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, Mlohan80, Kentogan, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisil, Kadra, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.